Next week in Coronation Street, Todd Grimshaw is left swallowing his pride as he approaches Theo for extra cash. It's the only way he can manage to purchase a birthday gift for his domineering partner, though Theo offers little warmth in return. Although Theo eventually agrees and provides some money, Todd soon faces a serious predicament when he discovers he urgently needs an even larger sum. According to insiders, Theo has been handing out small amounts whenever Todd asks, carefully ensuring he has nothing beyond the bare essentials. With Theo's birthday drawing near, Todd feels pressured to come up with a present, forcing him into the embarrassing position of requesting money to fund the very gift Theo expects. However, Theo doesn't give it freely and attaches strict conditions. He gives Todd £200, but makes it clear the amount must also pay for a celebratory dinner. Todd realizes he'll need to plan every penny wisely, yet just as he starts calculating how to stretch the budget, a notification on his phone leaves him stunned. A message informs him that his account has fallen behind on payments, and his mobile service has been cut off until the outstanding balance is cleared. Already cut off from much of the outside world due to Theo's controlling behavior, losing access to his phone would leave Todd feeling entirely alone and vulnerable. The question now is whether he will dare to use the birthday money to settle his bill and risk angering Theo in the process. Viewers are aware that Todd and Theo's storyline is set to intensify in the coming weeks, leading up to the show's major death mystery scheduled for 23rd of April. Theo is among 5 potential victims who could meet a fatal end on the same day as Carla Connor and Lisa Swain's wedding, hinted at in a recent flashforward where Betsy Swain was questioned by police after discovering a body. In that same episode, Todd was seen gripping a knife in a tense moment as he reflected on the mistreatment he has endured. Carl Webster, Jody Ramsey, Maggie Driscoll, and Megan Walsh are the other individuals whose lives may hang in the balance as the dramatic plot unfolds. Coronation Street spoiler: Debbie reaches breaking point over Carl. Debbie is horrified when she goes into Lou's prison cell and discovers she has been badly beaten by Paula. Later, Sally, Brody, and the girls arrive to visit Lou and are left stunned by the extent of her injuries. When Carl calls on Debbie, he tugs at her emotions until she reluctantly agrees to hand over more money. Sally overhears their conversation and quickly cautions Debbie, insisting that Carl is manipulating her. Debbie fiercely defends him, yet privately she can't ignore the nagging feeling that Sally may be telling the truth. Back in her cell, Debbie grows increasingly anxious about her toxic bond with Carl, the pressure clearly weighing heavily on her. When Ronnie learns that Carl has once again managed to squeeze more cash out of Debbie, his reaction could be explosive. Meanwhile, after being dragged out of bed at the crack of dawn by Connie, a groggy Carla, Lisa, Betsy, and Ryan are forced to wonder whether this chaotic start to the day is set to become their normal routine. Elsewhere, as Steve and Cassie discuss Jim's funeral plans with Ben, Tracy suddenly realizes that Steve has no idea Cassie had been planning to propose to him. Will Tracy stay silent or let the truth slip? At the same time, Christina announces that she has filed a complaint against Annie for defamation. However, matters take a turn when George is summoned to the police station for questioning regarding Annie's fraud accusation, leaving him feeling hopeless. Finally, Adam steps straight into a mess left by a dog just as he spots Jody walking away with David's pet. Furious, he confronts her, but with Harper's upcoming operation causing concern, Shona quickly shuts him down. Coronation Street, Christina's actions deepen George's troubles. George has shaped his entire career around maintaining the highest standards. Respect, sensitivity, and confidentiality are the cornerstones of Shuttleworth's, values passed down from his father. He prides himself on handling every detail correctly, which is why the recent claims that he benefited from a client's will have shaken him so deeply. Annie's discovery that her late mother left George money has already unsettled him. He is certain he has acted appropriately, yet that reassurance does little to ease the blow. For a man whose good name is everything, even a whisper of wrongdoing is enough to rob him of sleep. His partner in both business and life, Christina Boyd, reacts very differently under strain. While George tends to withdraw, Christina tackles problems head-on, often using humor as her shield. Attempting to ease the tension, she casually jokes that George has a knack for charming elderly women into leaving him money in their wills. To her, it's obvious sarcasm, a harmless quip meant to lighten the mood. However, they aren't alone when she says it. A prospective client, Mrs. Ripley, overhears the remark in full. For George, the moment is excruciating. Already on edge, he completely loses his composure. The thought that such talk might circulate around Weatherfield is his worst fear realized. Matters soon grow even more serious when Adam Barlow brings further unwelcome news. He informs George that Annie has officially instructed him to challenge her mother's will. What began as accusations has now turned into a formal legal dispute, and Adam advises George to seek his own legal representation without delay. Before George can fully absorb that blow, Christina decides to take matters into her own hands. Concerned that Mrs. Ripley might spread damaging gossip and harm the business, Christina arranges a meeting with her. She crafts a heartfelt story about how deeply the allegations have affected George. To make her tale more convincing, she even pretends to take a call from an emotional George, describing him as devastated and overwhelmed by false claims and professional disgrace. Initially, her plan appears to succeed. Mrs. Ripley seems to soften, and it looks as though Christina may have repaired some of the damage. Then, at the worst possible moment, George walks in. It quickly becomes clear to Mrs. Ripley that she has been misled. There is no distressed phone call, no heartbroken undertaker on the line, only Christina caught in the act. Her response is immediate and frosty. She firmly states that she will not be using Shuttleworth services and refuses to associate with anyone she believes to be untrustworthy. In an instant, another client is lost, and the shadow hanging over George grows heavier still. For George, the embarrassment compounds his existing anxiety. He is already fighting to clear his name while bracing himself for a courtroom battle, and now he must also contend with the consequences of Christina's misguided attempt to help. Christina's intentions may be good. She cannot bear to see George under pressure and wants to safeguard their livelihood. Yet her tendency to act impulsively could prove costly. With a will dispute looming, customers starting to question his integrity and rumors threatening to spread, George's once solid reputation now feels fragile. In a close-knit place like Weatherfield, once speculation begins, it rarely fades quietly. The pressing issue is whether George can regain control of the situation, or if Christina's damage limitation has triggered a crisis he cannot contain. Coronation Street spoiler. Jody's deception catches up with her. Lily discovers Jody's secret box in a bag under the stairs. She's puzzled to find the cutout photo of Bernie and Brian's book. At the hospital, the mum from yesterday approaches Jody and inquires after Harper. As Jody talks about her daughter's operation, she's horrified to realize Shona's standing right behind her. How will Jody explain this one? Back at the Platts, Lily confronts Jody with the photo of Bernie and Brian's book. Can Jody convince her not to tell anyone? Meanwhile, when Theo returns from his mum's early, Todd asks him for some money to buy him a birthday present. Theo gives him £200, but spells out that it must cover his birthday meal too. Todd is shaken to see a message on his phone informing him that his account is in arrears and service won't be restored until he pays his bill. What will Todd do? Elsewhere, George calls a crisis meeting with Christina and Glenda, but he's interrupted by a call from his solicitor. George knocks back the drinks in the Rovers. Also today, Sally tries to offer Carla and Lisa parenting tips, but they make it clear they're not interested. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.